A lot of people have trouble understanding what I mean when I say the Christian revolutionary spirit. So I thought I'd say a few words about that. Things change all the time, right? You're not going to deal with life and the world and everything the same way in 2022 as you would in 1955 or 1738. So every worldview has to accept that change happens one way or the other. You can either see change or development, call it progress if you like. You can either see it as an organic continuation of the past, an organic continuation of what's gone before. And you can have a respectful attitude toward your ancestors and to be grateful to them for creating you and for creating everything up until now. And then you can have another attitude, which is a clean break with the past. You can sort of a great reset, to use that term, and a rejection of the past. And this is where the sickness lies. When I talk about religion, I really talk about religion as a worldview. It's not a specific detail about what you think about some supernatural event or a deity or anything like that. I'm talking about it in the widest possible way as a worldview. And of course, these things developed in the past, and they changed in the past, and they changed in pre-Christian times as well. But they changed organically and as a continuation of the past. With Christianity, you had to reject the past. Christianity is built on a rejection of the past and on a clean break with the past. And that's why it's revolutionary. It's not traditional, it's anti-traditional. So what Christianity did was it rejected the past, said essentially that the ancestors were evil, they worshipped the devil. That's why we had these, famous quotes that I'd rather, be in hell with my ancestors than be in heaven with lesser men. And so Christianity as a worldview is a clean break with the past. And that attitude of rejecting the past, of making a clean break with the past, it didn't stop with Christianity. It continued, of course, on the political level with the French Revolution and the other revolutions and the Enlightenment, saying that the past is evil, the past is bad. Our ancestors were stupid, they were barbarians, they were evil, and we have come up with a new way to do politics, and so we reject the past, just like Christianity had done on a wider level. And then with modernist cultural, political, literary movements and so on, they also rejected the organic continuity with the past. They said we're going to make a clean break with the past. We're going to reject the past, and we're going to embrace this great reset of reinventing everything from scratch. So that's on the cultural level. And then, of course, in the 1900s and even more in the current century, we've done the same on the biological level. So that now, you're not determined by the past or by any organic continuity in terms of your ethnicity, your race, even your sex. So you can invent yourself. You can decide for yourself if you are a man or a woman, if you're white or black, and so on. What I suggest is that these things are related, because all of these revolutions, shall we say, are a part of a revolutionary worldview, of a revolutionary mindset. And the end result of that mindset is the tabula rasa, that you are not determined by being a link in a chain that goes back in time to your ancestors and forward in time to your descendants. Instead, you are an individual, and you can choose to make a clean break with everything and choose a new direction for everything. A rejection of the past, saying essentially that the past is evil, and a rejection of the ancestors. Some Christians will object that the Christians didn't reject all the past. Some things continued even with Christianity. Basically all our holidays and so on are continuation or modern versions of holidays that existed in the past. And that's true to some extent, but that's not for lack of trying. And just because you're not 100% successful at something doesn't change the fundamental attitude and the fundamental worldview. And there's no doubt at all that Christianity is built on the worldview that our ancestors are stupid, barbarians, primitive, and we don't need to pay much attention to them. And so Christianity is in itself a revolutionary spirit, a revolutionary mindset, a revolutionary worldview. The other objection I sometimes get from Christians is even better, is even more interesting, because it usually amounts to saying that our ancestors were stupid, which is my point, that is what Christians believe. And so it usually amounts to something like that our ancestors were primitive, they didn't know anything, they didn't understand anything, and there's no reason for us to pay attention to them because we became so much more enlightened with the new revolutionary mindset of Christianity, and our ancestors didn't have any morality, they were immoral, essentially Satan worshippers, and so on. And how can you be so stupid and primitive and barbarian that you want to pay any respect to what they believed or what they did and think that that has any value above the new modern mindset that we have now and that we got with Christianity? And that amounts to basically just admitting what I've been claiming all along, that Christianity is a rejection of the past. And so what I want to say by that is that Christianity is a part, or that Christianity has led to the tabula rasa mindset, the tabula rasa view of man as a blank slate, and you can choose your worldview, you can choose your religion, you can choose your political system, you can choose your culture, you can choose even your biology. And so we have been completely liberated from everything outside of the individual, more or less. And so we have absolute individualism, which is what we have now. And all of these things are connected with a rejection of the organic continuity with the past, an organic continuity with the ancestors, and so on. No intelligent person can deny that Christianity has made us more rootless and more cosmopolitan for those very reasons. The only thing you need to do to verify that is to just listen to Christians talk about their own ancestors. They despise their own ancestors and have very low opinions of their own ancestors and their own roots and where they themselves came from. It creates a certain arrogance in the individual, and because the individual is a form of fiction, the individual who rejects his own ancestors becomes neurotic about his own existence. That's why we have this existential crisis today, because we don't embrace the truth that we are just a continuation of what came before us, an organic continuation of that. Instead, we want to be arrogant. We want to reinvent the world on every level until we are rootless, just like now, and we have achieved complete nihilism. And that's where we are right now. We have reached complete nihilism because we think of ourselves as atomized individuals. We don't think of ourselves as a continuation of what came before us, and we don't celebrate what came before us. So we have progressivism. We have the progressive individualistic worldview, and the progressive individualistic worldview came with Christianity.